Hello, everyone, and welcome to Upsurge. We have the Upsurge Minor League here for you today, and we have a hype matchup. It is the Super Athletic Dads, 4-0, by the way, against Ignitus Esports, who are also 4-0. I've got Gofreen on the desk. We're going to have some fun games today. What do you think about this matchup here?
It's definitely looking pretty hype, Always fun to see two undefeated teams go against one another, but if we're talking about going against stuff right now, we are going into draft, which isn't exactly going against anything, but it also starts with going. So you know what?
I
Sometimes you
like
make
getting
stuff
to
up
it.
on the fly, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
Yeah,
Victor
I mean, you just got
Syndra
to
Bard.
roll with the punches.
Victor
So,
Syndra and Bard already off the table. So a lot of magic damage being targeted, keeping up with that trend, ending that trend.
it is, and there's a lot of really strong picks being taken off the table here. A lot of, like you were saying, just a lot of AP. The Bard did slip in there though, got a little Bard ban, nice and easy in there. But I do wonder how this is going to affect the compositions going in, because we do see a lot of these very strong mid laners coming off the board. A lot of these very strong picks, and that was exactly where my first thought was going. Is you see all these AP members being taken off, you still got 200 years on the table, baby.
Yeah, but you also have oh wait, that's not as you me.
That's not
I,
normal. What is this?
Come on,
How could they
lock in the
dare?
Yumi.
That's
You
what the
can lock
true
in the Lulu here, and that will deny Aphelios Lulu, which is of course super
Yeah.
strong right now. But I feel like you're giving up as Yumi, and like Yumi in general is just way too strong right now. And especially when you combine it with Ezreal, who is one of the strongest 80 carries in the meta right now, it's like you're mixing strong with strong. What do you get? Super strong, super buff, super OP even. But Ezreal Lulu will still work out, even if Lulu and Ezreal aren't exactly the best synergistic picks in the bot lane.
It sounds like the most complete and total scientific equation I've ever heard in my entire life. Go for it now. I love it.
Math major,
The
by the way.
piece that Super Athletic Dads want to add to the mix here is the Graves, and that is such a powerful choice to make here in this draft, and can have a lot of strengths as well. So far, they've got a lot of damage on their team. Got to back it up with some defense, though. They pick out the Karma for themselves, and we have been seeing a lot of Karma mids recently, getting a little bit more of that AP build. Obviously, still building some defensive items, but it does provide a lot of versatility in the mid to late game.
Yeah, and I mean, we even saw Comer top earlier this week. It was
Yeah,
played in AM. Tenacity was playing it for, what was it, 100 Thieves next, I believe? I forget. But so that is a potential too. That's always been one of Karma's strengths, just the super turbo flex. But on the other side, Ignitus Esports going to be locking in the other primary 80 carry in the jungle, in that Kindred. Definitely a lot more risky than the, since you do have to get marks to really get going. You don't have nearly as strong of an early game, but kind of similar niche there. And both these teams looking fairly similar so far in terms of the draft.
they definitely are. I personally really like the Graves into this matchup. It takes a very certain Kindred player to really shine in my eyes, and I've had very lackluster experiences recently, at least. And so I do like the strength of the Graves. I'm looking at the Kindred to pop off. I want to see that play. I want to see that just beautiful style come out from the Kindred, but we'll have to see as we are getting through the second phase of bans. Ignitus take away the Renekton. The response was the Zoe there. So more AP mid laners being taken away. We're waiting on Ignitus for their last ban.
Yeah, and no real surprise taking away solo lane picks, considering, I mean, we already see all of
Yeah,
these picks locked in. Obviously, the Karma might be a solo laner, but it can also still go to that support, still a decent support. Obviously, not the most meta defining support right now, because the reason why you want her in the solo lanes is so she can get the proper gold and experience needed, so she can get levels into the shield, so she can get the Ardent Sensor, all those goodie bags for your team. Hell, I've even seen Senna Karma bot lane with the
yeah, true.
starvation Senna, fasting Senna. That's what it is. Similar terminology. Either way, though, we have wrapped up all the bans here. It is going to be Renekton, Diana, Zoe, and Twisted Fate. So just all these solo laners being taken off the table. A lot of them being mid laners too, as Ignitus going to be locking in that Maokai.
I love the choice of the Maokai here. You do provide a little bit more of that strength, and you're going to more than likely be on a rock in the top lane. You're not going to be Too crazy impactful early on, but you do provide a lot of that late game engage, and especially around the objectives, you're really looking for that. And to back up the Kindred and the Ezreal, you definitely need something like that. So good eyes on Ignitus for being able to go that. But Super Athletic Dads pick up the Scion, and we have been seeing resurgence of this beast coming through the woodwork here. And speaking of woodwork, going more than likely up against this Maokai can be a pretty volatile matchup.
Yeah, the Scion pick definitely is standing out to me right now, Lemons, because like you said, it's resurging recently. I haven't seen it myself. It has been phased out of the meta. It was decently popular last year, back when he could do a buttload of damage, but was kind of forced out. He got some nerfs. Conqueror became the most busted rune in the game back then. I guess some things never change, but hey, it's just me. But putting him against a fellow tank in the top lane, it will just be that big wet noodle fight, just a battle of the grass procs, and we'll be looking for the grasp proc difference. Bit of a tongue twister there. Either way, though, Echo can be rounding out the sad draft here, with Galio rounding out the opposing draft.
I am personally loving Ignitus's full composition here. I was a little bit I wasn't 100% sure for when we were going through it, but now that they've kind of locked in these pieces and have a lot of mobility, but as well as have a lot of peel back strength with the hero's entrance, you do have the grasping roots, which is going to be huge, and then the damage coming from the Ezreal Kindred can be very strong as well. I think that Dad's draft, they have a very strong lineup, but it's about a harder time to execute for them than it is for Ignitus, and that's what I really look at when we're looking at the drafts here. I do have to point out, though, Gofrino, I know it's not typical. We might see it. Scion's not typical, but I have been seeing a lot of damage Scions, and they can be very, very strong in team fights. So, hey, you never know. We might have to just wait till we get in. I do agree, though. I think that it would be the better option to go for the wet noodle fight in this case, especially going up against that Maokai, but it does leave a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah, especially when you already have a Fearless and Graves. Like, do you really need more attack damage to really add to your team fight? Like, just add in the extra beef. Although, one thing here for Super Athletic Daggers that might be a little unfortunate is that they're going to be having to go into very, very heavy disengage coming out from Ignitus here, as you're going to have to go through the hero's entrance from the Maokai, or the Galio.
I mean, either one, it's going to be interchangeable.
Yeah. Of course, the Maokai ultimate, you're going to have to wait out the Kindred ultimate, and then every melee assassin player's favorite champion in the game, Lulu, with their polymorph. So for Super Athletic Dads, it might be a little bit of a pickle in team fights. Granted, though, with both Scion and Echo on diving duties and also Graves to a certain extent, there's only going to be so much peel that will come out from Ignitus. So maybe the sad lineup will be able to deal with that, but maybe this disengage and peel from Ignitus might be a little too much for them to deal with.
Maybe we see Zuko pull out the Caps Prodigy Echo play that we saw earlier today. I don't know if you watch LEC, Gofrino. I do.
Oh, I thought you were making an Avatar reference.
No. I mean, I guess it could go that way too. I don't know how time and fire bending. That just seems like a tricky.
I don't know.
So
I've only ever watched. Yeah, I only ever watched one episode of Avatar. Please don't kill me, people.
Oh my God, okay, no. All right, I'm sorry. We gotta get Juan here. We gotta get them, get this man off the casting desk. Like we gotta cut ties here. I'm sorry, go for it. This is the end of the Lemfrino casting duo, and you heard it here.
I gave us the Lego duo name earlier today.
As I was saying it, I was like, oh man, I forgot about our new name. No, but seriously, these compositions are very interesting to me, and they both have a lot of strengths. They both have strategy that you see coming through the draft. But as I had pointed to earlier, it's about the level of execution needed for both of these compositions. I feel like you do have a lot more safety nets for the side of Ignitus, but you have a lot more of a, I guess if you can wield it, a bigger sword for Sad.
Yeah, even though none of these characters really have swords on the side of Sad, I will agree. I mean, you have an axe, 6 guns technically, and then a beast stick. Like, what is Echo's weapon even? Like, he just kind of whacks you with it.
It's just one of those like noisemaker, but like those inflatable. I forget what they're called. Yeah, exactly. It's just.
I actually wouldn't mind like a soccer Echo skin where he just bops you with the Vuvuzela.
That is what Shen's. I forget which World Championship
The
skin it is. I want
TPA
to say
skin.
Yeah, there you go.
Those are the noise boppers.
They are. But hey, similar avenues here. Now, I do want to get a little bit of a overall like sentiment here from you, Gofrino. Where are you thinking that we're going to see the pop-up performances? Who are you really looking at that is going to be that driving force today?
I mean, obviously, when you look at the side of Ignitus, you're looking towards Peanut and Shinkai because the entire composition can peel and keep these members alive. And on the opposite end, for super athletic dads, you're of course looking at Twink, you're looking at Zuko, Obsession. Of course, that's just like basic League 101, like, oh, look towards the carries to carry. It's like, I know, but it's kind of like especially the case for Ignitus, since even if Aethys does go full AP on the Maokai, or sorry, the Galio. I keep getting these two big boys mixed up. The way though, it's like, even if you do go full AP on the Galio, sure, you can get a decent bit of burst, especially onto Twink. But against Obsession, against Zuko, against Gato, you're not really going to be bursting them out, and it's really going to come down to Shinkai and Peanut to get through them. But on the opposite end, super athletic dads, you kind of said it yourself, like they do have more avenues of attack, they do have more avenues to carry, and then of course with Rose on the Karma just giving them all those move speed boosts to charge into a fight, that can be pretty huge. Obviously, not everything's set in stone from this draft, Lemons, since, I mean, we're going to have to see how the early game shapes up and how the mid game shapes up.
Indeed, we'll have to see once we get into the game, but we have to go to a short little break. Before we do, we have some words from our sponsor, Sector 6.
Started with a vision of quality, a vision of uniformity.
We took the time to create something familiar yet refreshing, something with a bit of change.
Designed to fit any brand's unique vision.
Or... Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are on to the Rift with Ignitus Esports versus Super Athletic Dads. Get some fun compositions here. Gonna have to see which one is gonna come out on top. And so far, we don't really see any true craziness coming out. I don't think we're gonna get anything spicy here to start us off in this best of three go Freno.
Yeah, the biggest I'd be looking to is maybe Gato trying a little bit of a decimating smash cheese in the top lane to get some early poke down. That is like the extent of what I would expect here, but obviously I really doubt he would end up killing Shinneman, even if he did go for that, because let's be honest, Maokai, a little hard to take down, and if it's just a level 1 tank sign, oh, all right, so we do get a little bit of level 1 action, although it's just a wee bit of poke.
just a wee bit of poke. Rose is playing so aggressive right now, and I like it. Now we're actually going to see Shin come and get a little auto attack for himself, and yeah, I mean, I like the aggression so far. It doesn't necessarily reflect the rest of the game, but I love to see that everybody's kind of willing to extend a little bit more. Maybe we get a little bit more fireworks here.
Yeah, hopefully we get some fireworks in a bit, because it would be kind of boring just casting for like 20 minutes and nothing happens. Like, oh man, let's go back up to the top lane. Oh my god, they traded grass procs. Oh.
Hey, but that's where we get to talk about the good analytics. We get to break open these wonderful champions too. Now, yeah. I do like to see the grass procs in the top lane, as you say, the wet noodles that are being equipped by Shenna and Gato in the top side. Now the bot side, though, with Ignite going down trading, and now Twink is taking on Shen in this little ADC scuffle. Both supports getting dropped down super low, though, and going to see a continuation of that aggression we were highlighting.
Yeah, but in the end, it's just a trade of Ignite for Ignite and a trade of heal for heal, so nothing too much coming of it. The only real difference is Wizard of Diablo did have to expend more potions, because I'm assuming he took the Cyan Tree secondary and got the biscuits from it, which I kind of expect. Double saying there, but you know what I mean. Either way, it's not a huge difference in the bot lane right now. Both AD carries coming out with similar health pools. Both supports going to end up with kind of similar-ish health pools. The only real difference is going to be the biscuit, like I mentioned. Mid lane, though, great of Zuko to dodge out on that, because if he had ate that Justice Punch into the taunt, he would have maybe had to back with how low that would have taken him.
Indeed, and now we're going to see both junglers floating near each other. You're always looking for those hunt stacks there as Peanut on the Kindred, but it is a bit finicky on how you can find those. We are going to see the skirmish come down here. Parallel Convergence is going to get there. Oh, he doesn't go down. Peanut still looking for it. Ignite comes out. Still ticking there as Zuko's going to look for the kill. Can he get the roll forward? The shot. Peanut going to get hit by the smoke screen, and he goes down. Aethys is going to flash over the wall. He's looking to try and pick up something. It all ends up in this Obsession coming back in and getting a double kill here.
I'm honestly surprised that smokescreen killed there, because for reference, that is a level 1 smokescreen, and it does 60 base damage, so Peanut, much lower than I had thought. Either way, though, killing this Kindred early is going to mean denying Peanut that first stack, as we see Obsession taking that. But more importantly, Obsession able to get 2 kills on this Graves, which is kind of huge, since Graves, he is able to get a lead and then, of course, run with it with how well he can snowball, how well he can scale even after the nerfs from a patch or two ago, where they did slightly tone down his scaling. Either way, though, this Graves looking pretty strong to 11s.
And it's just a bit questionable from Peanut there. I think, yes, the skirmish started out well, but Obsession was able to flash away, and Zuko was already coming down that way. The Parallel Convergence is beautifully placed. And the fact that we just see Peanut, who got out, come back in to try and pick up a kill, and he goes down. I mean, it's just a little bit of an overextension. I hope we can see a fix-up of that here going forward, because Peanut is going to be an integral part to this composition, and we got to see him shine. As we're going to see a taunt land here in the mid lane. Peanut trying to get some revenge action onto Zuko, but was unable to. As, it's going to calm down here for just a little bit, Go Freno.
Yeah, thankfully, both teams just having a little bit of chill pill here, although, of course, as I say that, big trade going on in the bot lane. I don't think anybody's going to be killing each other, but both those Ignites from level 1 are back up, so any more potential damage could result in a kill. And,
Zuko's
of course,
really good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that out there. Like, every time that he tries to get the knockup on him, he just beautifully rolls out just in time. It's great.
Yeah, the Time Winder, a pretty huge deal in dodging that. It's a very nice, quick way to dip on it, and being able to have that quick reaction to the Galio every time he wants to go in on you is pretty crucial, because if you're dodging out on the knockup from that, it means he's probably not going to be able to taunt you, and if he's not able to proc his... the Aftershock and fights.
Looks to be a big fight coming through here. Peanut has arrived, but it is a Nephelios. He's going to be able to help get down a double kill for Rose, who went down themselves. Ends up in a 2-for-1 in the bot side with Peanut running away with no health almost. And that just turns into a bit of a wonky fight there and actually goes in favor of Sad.
Yeah, Sad really enjoying that, even though both kills do go over to Rose here. Twink able to get 2 assists for himself, currently already has a CS lead too, and this is going to be a huge part in the laning phase, since he's going to be able to back in by BF Sword here, and there's only going to be that Cheer the Goddess on Shinkai, so I don't know why they wanted to go for that gank there, because they were all very low on health. You don't want to be hopping into that from a Mantra Q. The Ignite was up, and it honestly caught me off guard, because I saw them in the bush, and I was like, there's no way they go for this. I can just keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they go in. I'm like, wait, what? And then we see Diablo instantly die. And then we even... It was just a mess. Zuko, gonna spot up Peanut.
Peanut is just being oppressed here. And it all plays back to exactly what I was talking about in the draft. It's just... Kindred is such a strong pick, but it just has to be in the right moment, the right time. And even Peanut electing to go for the early invade, trying to get ahead, did not go their way. And now you see a big CS lead for Obsession. You see everybody just going into this Kindred's jungle, and it's just turning into such a hard time for Peanut to play.
Yeah, and if he's struggling to get his own camps, how the hell is he gonna get his own marks? Like, if you can't get your red buff, you probably can't get Scuttle. And if you're not able to even get a single stack on this Kindred, it's like, why pick the Kindred here? Because the Graves can be a little bit of a hard matchup, since Graves much more of an early game powerhouse compared to that Kindred, who really needs at least the 4 marks to come online, since that's the range upgrade to 575 from 500 is quite noticeable.
Oh no!
Just a little better. That would have been canceled. But...
Oh, that was so bad. Alright, well, hey, at least the attempt was there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Obviously, even if he had canceled it, it wouldn't have been like the end of the world for Zuko. It just would have been an annoyance. The biggest thing that might have happened is Zuko might have had to stay for a little bit longer to get another back, or just have to lose a little bit of extra CS and EXP to that tower. Not the hugest deal, although Peanut has to be careful here as he is invading. It was spotted out by Zuko, I believe. I don't know if he's able to grab that red or not, but on the flip side, Obsession was able to solo out that Rift Herald. So, I mean, Sad, once again, coming out on top.
That's 2 objectives. They already snuck the Infernal Dragon as well, and were able to take that big objective. And an earlier Infernal Dragon is nice. Doesn't mean that we get the soul, but still able to get that objective here. Now in the mid lane, we are going to see the Chrono Break used. The Rift Herald's going to get the charge off on tower, provide a lot of gold. Peanut's going to be caught out here. Lanzer's Fight comes in with the hero's entrance on top. That's going to be Obsession getting very low, but that is the collateral damage, trying to get some reinforcements in the back. Huge snipe from the Ezreal is going to be able to pick up a kill, but Zuko is going to be in some serious trouble here. The flash comes out. He's going for the kill. Can't get the auto attack. Aethys is able to clean that one up. It is going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of Ignitus, and they're going to look to push the mid lane tower as well.
And what an absolutely massive 2-for-0 there, because we were starting to fall behind both in kills and objectives, but they're at least able to even up the kills here. We were able to get that first mark for Peanut, and a beautiful snipe coming out from Shinkai from the bot lane. Shinkai looking to go a little bit more aggressive, has the wave on his side, and has that extra bit of shielding from the Lulu, so let's see what he's able to do. Of course, also double buffs. Ezreal is one of the most peskiest things ever, because the Q slows you, and he's not really running out of mana anytime soon. Of course, we go back to top lane. The Grass War is still in full effect.
I think in that moment, not gonna lie, I think Shinkai was ready to go in, and then realized that Aphelios has red and white. It was like, maybe not. Let's not do that. I saw what happened.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been the smartest move by Shinkai there, especially without the True Shot Barrage available, since
exactly.
True Shot Barrage is just so massive in terms of base damage. Like, even level 1 here, let me quickly check. 350 base damage, but plus an extra 92 from his AD. So we're talking about maybe roughly 400-ish damage after resists. And that's from an ulti that can hit both of these members. That's a big trade in the mid lane, though, but keep in mind...
He's gonna get stunned up by the parallel. Yeah, that's going to be a kill going over. Immediately as I saw the Graves walking back, I just kind of knew what was going to happen there. I'm a pretty big Echo player, and it's so fun to bait out those kinds of situations where, like, oh, I'm going to get him, and then they look behind them 5 seconds later, there's a bubble coming down, they have nowhere to run. And they're able to pick that one up. Zuko able to help get another one for the Graves, who's sitting at 3-1 now. And we see a lot of damage being put down on this bot side tower. Shinkai's trying to do the best he can to defend it, but they're already looking at another dragon here for Sad, and that's going to be another big objective pickup. Pina is around here, but too late to deal any damage or try and contest this dragon at all.
Yeah, and this isn't looking too good here for Ignitus, since already being these 2 dragons down, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a buggle in the jungle, but this is a lone Graves.
Yeah, Obsession is way overextended. There is no reason to be that far. Still almost picked up the kill from it anyway. Yeah, I don't know about that TP there, Shin, but he gets stopped. The wet duel fight's going to continue up there. The TP was a valiant effort for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea behind it from Shinneman. Like, he could have been able to make a lot happen, especially since Gato, he did teleport, would have had basically no mana on that Scion, but you have to remember, when it is these 2 huge tanks in the top lane, it is very easy for them to cancel one another's teleports, since thanks to that quite a bit of crowd controlling, crowd control usually interrupts that teleport. But other than that, nothing too much happening. And kill going onto the Graves, absolutely massive. Oh,
Rose is gonna get caught here. Yeah, that's gonna be the ultimate's used though. Shin's gonna get Winzy there as well. Moonlight Vigil's gonna come down. It's almost enough damage, but on the return kill, it was Wizard of Diablo able to pick up one for themselves on the bot side, and now it's Twink all by his lonesome. But he isn't Aphelios. You gotta remember he's got 200 years on you, and that's gonna be a lot of damage.
Oh.
2 people to back. He's going to continue to farm up and attempt to get a lead here, as now we're going to see Obsession going in, getting some revenge on Aethys there, and be able to pick up another kill for himself. And the map movements so far from Sad have just been so good.
Yeah, and that's kind of a weird thing to say when you're going up against the Galio, who is just able to smash that button anytime he wants to go in. You're against double TP and also the hero's entrance. So you have 2 globals versus 3 globals. So in theory, I mean, Ignitus, they should be the ones out maneuvering here, but Sad able to stay 1 step ahead of them and keep up the objective lead, as that is going to be the first tower dropping in the mid lane.
That 600 gold just dropped into Zuko's pockets. He's going to get a nice little bit of change there for himself. We have seen about a 3k gold lead develop here for Sad, and so they definitely are pushing their advantages. And they have complete objective control so far as well. Now, another Rift Herald is going to be spawning as well, but we still have a while till another dragon. It is an Ocean Soul this time, though. So, both these teams are definitely going to be looking towards that as the primary objective for this match.
Because the Ocean Soul, pretty darn good. Oh, Shannon, gonna eat a lot of damage from L2 Hundo.
That's no longer a wet noodle that you get hit with there, Tree Man. I'm sorry. It has been exchanged for a very, very potent weapon.
And 5 of them, actually. Which is quite a big
Just
deal.
throw that in there, okay? No big deal. Add the 200 years on top of that. I feel like that's a weapon of its own. Maybe 6 weapons? Maybe not. That might be a little too far. But we do see the Rift Herald that I had mentioned being started up here yet again. But there is going to be a contest this time. Could see a decent fight pull out here. Ezreal's come to join it, though.
And look for the Scion Pain Train, because he can't join from that bottom part of the river, and this would be a pretty huge pinch, sir.
Here it
like
comes.
It's going to start off.
Oh, this is going to be a beautiful one. You have Zuko in the back line. He's going to use Chrono Break to get out. It is going to be a flash forward from Gato Lambs. Despite it's going to come out from Peanut, but he's not in it anymore. He gets taken down by Zuko with those beautiful mechanics that you always love to see from the Echo, where you flash over the wall, but he's still following you with the phase step. And just a great pincer maneuver, as you had mentioned. Didn't fully work out, but they're still able to pull away 2 kills from it. Get priority over this Rift Herald. Now we're going to see Zuko caught out. He doesn't have an ultimate here. You've got to be real careful, but it's the zoomies that you just put on your feet when you hit somebody 3 times, Go Frito. He gets out all fine and dandy. And after all of that chaos, we have an even bigger lead developed here for Seth.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite the nightmare here for Ignitus to come back into the game, since their team, they kind of want to stay on relatively even footing with these double AD carries. They're not exactly the best ones to deal with any sort of siege. Like, sure, they're able to take down towers fairly well, but without that superstar mage in the mid lane, you're not exactly able to clear out all the ways you need. And also, I mean, AD carries that are behind, they tend to be a lot less useful, since AD carries so much more reliant on gold compared to other champions. But we'll have to see, because they definitely aren't out by any means, and they are going to be starting up this dragon here. But if we take a look, we see Obsession and the rest of Set coming over to contest.
Gato's just being a menace here, but the dragon is going to go down. First dragon going over to Peanut, and Coach Shenneman goes in for this, though. He's trying to get an engagement on Obsession. Now we're going to see the hero's entrance. Going to get a double knock up there. We have the rest of the fight unloading here. Twink is in the back line trying to get it down, but he doesn't have the health bar. Both ADCs are going to fall, as now the rest of the fight's going to continue. We're going to see Zuko go in. Can he get the damage onto the tank? That's not the member you want to focus on, as he's just running off into the wild over there. Meanwhile, we have as well Aethys maybe taken down by the collateral damage from Obsession. And yeah, it's just a bit of scatteredness coming out from Sad, but they still are able to pull out a 2 for 2, as Wizard of Diablo now might end up being that third. Rose is going to try and catch him, isn't able to land the mantra Q. Zuko is going to follow. It is a Lulu, but he's going to walk straight into an enemy here. That is so close to Rose going down, but it is the other way around, as Wizard of Diablo falls.
And Obsession coming out of that team fight as the 6-2-1 Graves, that's kind of a scary prospect to deal with, since he is going to be able to nuke a lot of members. Still, though, able to pick up the dragon here, able to even out the gold lead a tiny bit here is the side of Ignitus. So in the end, they do come out on top, thankfully for them, and they do, of course, deny the soul point for super athletic dads.
It is going to be a highly contested point here, but for the side of Ignitus, you at least delay the soul. You get closer to evening it up here. You aren't getting closer to evening up that gold lead, but you just got to keep picking out the good fights and finding the overextensions, as we saw in that kind of fight. It didn't go their way towards the end, but at least it was a more promising fight than we've seen so far.
Like, the start of the fight was a little bit unfortunate, since both Aethys and Shinneman were separated from their carries, and when you're separated from your carries, that just allows Zuko to go ham on them, and he was able to put out so much damage and even somehow survive all of that madness in the end. So gotta be keeping a lookout for Zuko here, as can be Gato taking the tower in the bot lane. Let's see if he's able to get out. He does have the ultimate here, and yeah, gonna be able to get out scot-free.
And Shin is definitely very not doing great in the terms of build. I mean, hasn't finished his second item yet, and still not having those big damage pops that you're looking for on the Ezreal, the patented 2-item power spike nowadays. But he's going to be getting there at some point. We're going to see the Rift Herald be popped up in the top lane here. He's going to take some extra tower shots. They should be able to get this tower, though. Shinneman is going to get the engagement. Chrono Break comes out, though. They needed to get a bit of distraction there. Now we see 5 members up here from the side of Ignitus, and they're going to try to dissuade that Rift Herald further. They're going to be able to take it down. Everybody just walks away, but it is going to be Sad who walk away with some extra gold this time, as they were able to get that tier 2 tower for themselves.
Yep, and For anybody wondering in the audience, Peanut has hit the magical 4-stack mark thanks to that previous fight around the dragon, so finally starting to really come online as this Kindred, even though he did have a fairly rough early start with that death. That's just for anyone wondering at home, since there isn't exactly a very clear indicator. But here comes the Baron startup by Sad. Let's see if they're able to do this. It is starting to get a little stuffed out here by Diablo. Question is, will they be able to contest in time from the side of Ignitus?
Do we see the Ezreal? Oh, they didn't. It wasn't in time. Unfortunately, the True Shot Barrage came across just a little bit early. Now Zuko's looking to go in. Cinnammon's going to get the stop on Zuko. Chrono Break comes out, but that's a big double knockup. Here comes the hero's entrance, though. Big taunt landing onto 3 members as well. You just have Shinkao hammering away on the backside, but now Zuko has found his mark. He's going to take the ADC. The rest of the fight's going to continue over towards the Baron entrance there as Zuko picks up a double kill. This Echo is on a tear right now, and you just can't deal with his mobility and his damage.
Yep, about as much damage as the Fire Nation coming out from Zuko on this Echo. Either way, though, the gold lead that we said was starting to get a little bit close is kind of now at 10,000 gold lemons, and that's not exactly optimal.
It's definitely not, and I don't know. It's just such a crazy thing to see both of these, just all this damage coming out from Sad. I mean, you think that you're getting down some crucial members, like, oh, this fight's going okay, and then all of a sudden you look to your back line, it's entirely gone because Zuko's just having a field day back there. And then you look at your front line, and Twink is over there just throwing 5 guns at people, like not even dealing with anything. And it just becomes such a multi-pronged attack that it becomes hard to deal with. And yes, you drafted all these defenses, you drafted all this peel, all this disengage, but it just hasn't stacked up together yet. You haven't hit those item spikes that you needed to, and now you're too far behind for it to really matter.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're talking about this in Champion Select here, Lemons, where super athletic dads, they have much more means of attack, and that has been helping them a lot and dictate the pace of this game. Whereas on the side of Ignitus, both their carries, they kind of need a scale. So it's like when they do want to take fights, their carries still scaling. Thankfully, though, Shinkao does have that magic 2-item spike right now. Peanut does have his own 2-item spike along with those 4 marks, so there is going to be time for them to come back. It is going to be soon. Gato has to be careful here, taunted up.
Yeah, he's going to be able to get out of there with a very nice flash. Going to use the Unstoppable Onslaught to book his train ticket out of there. And they did commit a good amount of time to trying to pick him up. And now they're going to have to defend their mid lane as Baroned Up minions are pushing. They've got multiple waves here as well. Yep.
Thankfully, though, forcing out the Flash and Unstoppable Onslaught will really hinder a lot of potential engage that could come out from super athletic dads. Still, though, Shinkao eating up half his health from poke there. Not exactly what you want to see. And, of course, Gato just going back to split pushing on this Scion. This is just a beautiful 1-3-1 coming out from the side of Sad.
They're just being pulled apart here. There's just really like, because at these moments, this is where you need to make a decision. We kill one person, we kill one of these lanes, and then we focus on defense. But at this point in time, they just haven't been able to make that clutch decision yet. We might get to see it here as they are looking to go forward and just stop the siege that is going on. But like I said, you have to make the decision. They haven't done it, and they're still losing all 3 lanes.
Yeah, like, you can't just let the bleeding continue, but here's the thing. They're going to want to go for one last desperate fight, but that desperate fight is going to be 11,000 gold down. Like, there's a 2-level difference between Obsession and Shinaman, which is a really terrible sign for the game when your top laner is 2 levels behind the jungler. You know, looks like this might be the last hurrah, but it is just going to be the disengage coming right on out.
I saw Zuko coming up behind and was trying to get, here goes the Wombo combo, but the flash out by Obsession is going to get him right out of there. Then they're going to lose the bot side tower as well. They tried to commit there. They wanted to make it happen onto the Graves, but they were unable to pull it off, and now it is going to be a last desperate attempt to stop the onslaught here. It's going to be Echo being taken down with the Chrono Break still up. This is the chance that you're looking for, but it's still so far in behind. Cinnamon's going to go in. He's going to get dropped. Lands Spike comes out. Beautiful Moonlight Vigil across the board. He's got the chakras. He's got the guns. And he's putting them down here, as that's going to be a quadra kill for Twink. Looking for the Penta. Will his team commit?
There it comes.
Could be it. Is he gonna get it? He doesn't. It's a triple kill in return. Wizard of Diablo, you have defended so far your base.
I don't know, what an unfortunate series of events there for Sad. That could have been Turbo PogChamp, but it turns out to be a Turbo Pepega in the end, as the Polymorph kind of denying the Penta there from Twink, and sadly he was about the second person to get targeted by that base laser. So either way, though, this game still very heavily in the favor of Super Athletic Dads. They have those 3 inhibitors down. Baron's going to be up in less than a minute. They can just easily scoop up the Baron, look to end the game there. Or if they want to be super duper ultra mega safe, they can do Baron into the Soul, into ending the game. I think that's personally a little overkill, but hey, more power to you.
I'm flabbergasted here, Kofi. They really want. I love to see it. I love the companionship. They wanted to hand over the Penta, but Wizard of Diablo was like, nah, you ain't getting it today. I'm gonna pull up almost a Penta on my Lulu over here. No big deal. It was definitely a bit of an overcommit there. They could have just ended the game, but they wanted to go for the kills instead. And I get it for sure. But now they get to just kind of have their way with the map, like you were saying, really take whatever they want. They can choose to end it. They can choose to take some objectives. Looks like they want to choose to end it here. Zuko is a bit, again, going down without the chrono break. That's twice in a row here, Kofarino. Maybe this is the epic late game comeback we were looking for, because goodness, that's twice that Zuko has just been way too stunned. Honestly, though, I see moments where he can use it and maybe just hasn't been able to pull it off.
Yeah, we in the biz like to call that the Jensen syndrome. Either way, still very firmly in their control. Even without their mid laner, this should be a very easy Baron to pick up. And with those triple inhibs being down,
yeah,
I don't really see any contest coming out here. So they can pick up the Baron, and with their mid laner being dead, it's actually more viable to maybe try and pick up the Soul here. And then once you have that Soul, your mid laner should be back, should be around you guys, and then you guys can all just push it for the win. We'll have to see, though. The map is the oyster for Sad to open how they please.
So you did see like 2 or 3 members heading to the base just to try to win, but then you had like 2 pings come down saying, "Oh no, let's go! Come on, we got the Soul. Like, why not just take it?" They are gonna do just that. They are buffed up, they are powered up, and they are looking to end the game here.
And they don't even really have to fight here. Like, with all 3 inhibitors being down, double supers in each wave, all these members have to do is just like stand in each lane and Baron up these super minions, and that's basically nearly impossible to deal with. Here comes the Nature's Grasp.
Yeah, it's gonna go in. They're trying to get down the Scion. They're actually doing a pretty good job. He's gonna use the Unstoppable Onslaught to get in the backline. Some big Heroes entrance going down as well. It's Aethys and Shenarem going on, but it's Zuko on the carries on the backline here. Everybody is just getting decimated. Collateral damage finally comes out. That's Twink getting down the tree man himself. Shinkal is the only one left, is not going to be able to make the defense happen here. He won't go down, but his Nexus will.
And a very dominant game from Super Athletic Dads coming out here in this first of our series. And it all started off early game with the snowball starting up on Obsession, and with the counter snowball starting on this Kindred here for Peanut. So, I mean, if Sad keeps this up, I think they might just take this series in an easy 2-0. But who knows, because there is always, of course, next game, new draft, new team, new you. Hey, so let's see what Ignitus is able to pull out themselves here.
Well, and I hate to say it, I really liked Ignitus' composition. I said it like 5 times. You know I liked it. The only thing is here is I do feel like there were some moments. We didn't get to talk about it too much because we kind of had to go to a break. But the fact that if these couple tools that you have get far behind, they are pretty much useless. And that's kind of what we saw here. I mean, not fully useless, but they were not in the position of strength that you're looking for. And you just had so many meta picks, so many strong picks coming out from Sad that it was just so hard to deal with. And we saw the fruits of Sad's labor here. And we'll have to see how it goes down, I guess, in game 2, because that draft is going to be so important. We are going to send it to a small little break while we get ready for game 2. Do not go anywhere, because we get to see if the Super Athletic Dads get to clean house, go 2-0, and continue their undefeated streak, or if we get to bring ourselves to a game number 3 with Ignitus Gaming taking game 2. We'll be right back.
change your mind. And I know it's me that followed you in blind. I could say that you didn't need, but you wanted me.
Hey, you made it back here, folks, and I appreciate you all coming back to watch this because we have game number 2 getting ready here for UML. It is Ignitus Esports versus Super Athletic Dads. Super Athletic Dads taking a very convincing game number 1 off of the back of so many beautiful fights, damage coming out from everybody on the team almost, and just an all-around great performance from them, ending up with like at least a 10+ K gold lead there as well. So we'll have to see what Ignitus want to do on this game 2 to see if they can pull it back. We are already getting into picks and bans, and we're going to see Bard taken away this time from Ignitus, who are on the blue side as well.
Yep, so far we're just seeing the exact same bans. Granted, though, 2 out of 6. Not exactly the big sample size, although 3 out of 6. So
3, I was going to say, we're starting to get there. I don't know.
yeah, because I don't feel like it was a certain pick that just really screwed over the side of Ignitus last game. It was just so like they just kind of bumbled up the map wide macro moving because we saw them fall behind in objectives. We saw them make some rather questionable ganks and questionable invades that really put them behind in the beginning. And that's just what eventually snowballed into that last fight around the Baron and what eventually snowballed into them losing the game. So Ignitus, if they are going to change up one thing this game, I think they are going to like tweak the draft a little bit on their end, but also just try and patch up their in-game calls. Obviously, I don't have access to their mics, so I don't know what the full story is, of course, with team comms, but hey, taking the Graves away from Obsession is definitely a good way to start off this draft.
It definitely is. And the band stayed the same. We saw as I mentioned, the Bard, the LeBlanc, the Silas taken away from Ignitus, or by Ignitus. Victor, Syndra, Twisted Fate being pulled away by the Super Athletic Dads. You had mentioned Graves being stolen by Ignitus, being able to start and pick that one up for their composition to roll with. And then Varus comes through for Super Athletic Dads, which is that super, I'm guessing lethality build. Varus could be a very strong pick here so far. Now Lee Sin's going to join the table here, and I really like the Lee Sin pick into the Graves. I think it can be very strong as well.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't really favor the Lee Sin dueling the Graves, at least outside of the early game, since Graves' quick draw gives you just such a buttload of armor. Like, it's really surprising where a Graves with no armor in his build, you click on, aha, he has no armor built. Then he has like 130 armor or something like that. So that can be definitely a pickle to deal with. Although the Lee Sin doesn't exactly have to be going for those invades one-on-ones. You have much more gank prio and map influence power early on with this Lee Sin due to his early game power. That aside, though, Ignitus, they are going to be locking in their bot lane here.
I'm so confused here, Goferino, because I just see game 1, and I see where Sad's priorities are in the draft, and they're just, I feel like they're just giving everything to Ignitus. Like, and maybe it's a good thing because maybe they want to go to game 3. Maybe that's why. But I just feel like they're giving everything away and they are picking some very strong picks for themselves for sure. But you see all this stuff left on the table and no attempt to go towards it. It's a little bit questionable for sure. But we do have the first 3 picks for each composition. As you pointed out, the Nautilus, Aphelios bot lane here for Ignitus. And Morgana was the last pick there for Super Athletic Dads, going to provide a little bit more defensive capability, but as well as some nice CC as well.
Mm-hmm. Although, not gonna lie, I'm kind of confused. They went for the Aphelios Nautilus when Aphelios Lulu is up, and that's such a disgusting combo. Like, they are just like peanut butter and jelly at this point in terms of drafts. Like, Ezreal, Yumi, Aphelios Lulu. It's like, all right, I've seen this one before, guys. Let's pick something new, yada, yada, yada. Either way, though, I mean, Nautilus, still a great support by all means. Granted, the Morgana, definitely a solid counter pick into that, as the Shen's going to be picked up here by Super Athletic Dads. Definitely a little spicy, considering that will be blind. However, though, the set is going to be the response here.
That is a volatile matchup if you're looking for one. Set v Shen could be the top lane that we're looking at this time around. Much different from the wet noodle fight that we saw last game. The Cassiopeia coming through for Ignitus. That late game extra scaling hyper carry to go on top of the Aphelios, on top of the Graves. I'm really genuinely liking this composition from Ignitus. I liked their composition from last game too, though. We'll have to see what Super Athletic Dads want to choose to round it out here. I expect the mid laner, hopefully something that is going to be good into the Cassiopeia. Corki, it can be good. I just hate the basis of picking a champion with a very crucial mobile ability into Cassiopeia with Miasma. That just bothers me.
Yeah, and that is like the Corki is gonna get absolutely destroyed with Cassiopeia. Corki not exactly the highest magic resist champion. He can't really build the Merc Treads early on since you absolutely need those Sork boots as Corki 100% of the time. That 18 flat magic pen on a champion whose kit is like 90% magic damage is absolutely huge. So unless we see an early Hex Drinker, which I kind of also doubt too, since Mana Moon is the new thing on Corki, this might just be a little hard in the mid lane. And if you put down that Miasma and the Cork is not able to Valkyrie away, like you said, especially if there's a Graves also visiting, and then you also get slowed up by the smoke screen, this could be one very rough time for Corki. Although, obviously, Corki, very safe champion. Ranged, has Harass, has the safety in the Valkyrie. So maybe we'll have an easier time than we're thinking.
I mean, the thing is you can theorize all day long. We could literally sit here and dissect each map like, so this is how this should go. This is how this should go. And people do it all the time. But the thing is it's all about performance on the day, your communication, your synergy, your plays that need to be there. And it's all about who just is able to perform. And so, yes, the matchups mean something, but it all is how it goes down on Summoner's Rift. And so at this point, honestly, I am absolutely in love with Ignitus's comp. I'm ready to see them try and punch back here in game 2 because they were slapping people apparently just like very lightly in game 1. I want to see some powerhouse throws being punched there into Super Athletic Dads because they did come out swinging, and their composition this time around is definitely a bit different than last time, but still has some very strong pieces to it as well that can succeed.
Because obviously, there's Corki, double 80 carry, tried and true when it comes to the late game. And then you do have the Shen for protection, the Lee Sin for engage, the Morgana for protection as well. So it's not that Super Athletics Dad's composition is bad. I just feel like you, I'm pretty much assuming here, Lemons, that I personally feel that Ignitus, they're just kind of one-upping the enemy composition. And I feel like going in with that +1 compared to the enemy team is what's going to help them ultimately come back in this series and maybe get the reverse sweep.
What's crazy, again, I just think it's crazy that SAD left up so many of these crucial picks, so many of these big buck players that we're looking for. And after seeing game 1 where they did prioritize those and were able to just smash their opponent, it's a bit curious to see a response here. But in some aspects, I do feel like it might be some mind games going through. Maybe they do have some confidence in the Lee Sin against the Graves. On paper, it's not the greatest matchup, but I do feel like they were kind of just leaving some things open, which sometimes can just be the fact that they're not paying attention to it and they just leave it open. But I like to see the best in people, and I would like to think that they were trying to mind game or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you like to find the best in people if you're a caster. It'd be kind of weird if you're a caster who's just looking for someone to mess up. All right, so we're gonna go. Here's my 200-page thesis on why this guy is complete crap at jungle. If you ever path like this, holy moly, you're gonna be more lost than Christopher Columbus. You probably want to make it far in your casting career if you did that.
Hey, maybe it's a brand. Maybe that's the next brand. Maybe it's like the Tyler One of casters. Just always salty and always mean. Nah, I don't think there's any. Unfortunately,
I don't think they'd let you AFK as a caster halfway through the stream. Right. It's all right, I just can't deal with this anymore, and then it's just a silent stream for 20 more minutes, and you come back. All right,
it's like 5 minutes in, first blood goes over. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. GG, go next. No, but seriously, when we wind up and look at these compositions together, there are some big pieces that I'm looking at, and a lot of them happen to be on Ignitus' squad because I do have some faith in them bringing us to a game 3, and I want to see that mostly just because I can keep talking, I can keep yelling. But the picks that they have chosen, I'm really looking at Aethys. I think he had a good performance on the Galio in game 1. It just didn't come together team-wise. I'm going to be a bit critical on Peanut. He did end up getting some good stacks there on the Kindred, but it took a long time, and he tried to go for that early invade and just didn't work out, so it did set his team very far behind. I want to see a better performance out of him. Shenneman on the set, I'm looking for those big engages, though.
Yeah, and I do want to go back to that Kindred point because, I mean, Peanut on the Graves this time around, much more solid of a jungler in terms of consistency because Kindred does have a little bit of coin flippiness built into her kit, and coin flips did not happen to go out in the favor of Ignitus last game, so we'll have to see what they're able to do this game. And then, of course, Shinneman on the set, like, especially once he itemizes, I feel, the Blade of the Rune King, gets that Conqueror going, Sagato just isn't going to be able to do squat into this set pick, so it just might be a free split push time. And when a Shen isn't able to deal with you in a split push, that's usually one of the best ways to counter a Shen composition.
Indeed it is, and it definitely can be, but it's really just about the execution. And here talking about execution, I do have a little bit of information for you all wonderful folks. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. From keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more, our friends at Kono have you covered. Kono works with the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best gaming peripherals around. Kono have been huge supporters of us here at Upsurge and have made so many generous contributions to our prize pool. If you need to find some new peripherals, especially a new keyboard, if you're looking for something along those lines, you can definitely check out the Hex Gears X1 RGB low-profile Bluetooth mechanical keyboard. It is a bay for sure. You can use the discount code UpsurgeGG for 7% off your first order. And if you want to check out some more information or just check out the store itself, you're going to go to kono.store. It is KONO.store to check all that out, especially Kono. Discover amazing products. We'll be right back.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn. minions have spawned.
One random episode where
What
like
is that?
the Fire
my
Nation was attacking the Earth Nation or something, and they're
Hold on,
like
I
attacking
can't
the
do it.
city.
Can
I'm like-
anybody back me up here? Like anybody? Can I please have somebody yell at this man for me?
I know the person behind Upsurge Esports right now can definitely back up any Avatar, Last Ender, Airbender references here. I
Get
mean,
the name right. No, I'm just joking. We are gonna see Age Redline go in. Wizard of Diablo saw the missed Dark Binding and wanted to make sure Rose knows that he is there as well. Definitely a different playstyle from the Lulu last game. And we'll have to see how that works out. I know you highlighted it a little bit during the draft. I honestly like the stuns and the CC paired up with the Velas. I think it provides a lot of time to set things up for him. I agree the Lulu is super strong and just really oppressive, but I do really like the extra CC, the tankiness coming through for him.
and especially with Aphelios also being kind of immobile too, like just having all that lockdown means less time with people on top of you, and you know who kind of likes that immobile AD carries. But bot lane here for Ignitus, gonna be hitting level 2 first. I'm gonna get some prio in that lane. Rose now level 2 on this Morgana, so I'm gonna quickly check. Did he level? Yep, did level the Black Shield, so that is gonna really dissuade any potential engage here. Because keep in mind, sure, Nautilus has 4 forms of CC in his kit, but the primary ones that he's gonna be using to hit you with to really lock you down, those are all single target. And you know what really denies single target crowd control? Black Shield, of course. So that is going to be a huge thorn in the side for Diablo.
It is. I do have to say those dredge lines are a little bit crazy sometimes, though. You got to be like split-second decision making when you see it come out, because you got to get the Black Shield out before you're going to see Obsession come in. It's the same area of the fight last game. He's getting blowed up. That's Conqueror that's going to come through for Aethys, and you don't want to fight the Snake Lady that early on there, buddy. It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah, thankfully, though, for Obsession, he is able to get a ton of damage down in return, and is going to force Aethys very low on mana with this Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Cassiopeia going for the cleanse this game, so won't have that teleport for the priority, which you usually see on the Cassiopeia, because it is absolutely massive, especially in tier champions who like to push out the wave back by tier, come back to lane. Obviously not going to be the case this time, but keep in mind the Obsession, since he does have that Huntress Machete, since he does have the W Safeguard on the Lee Sin, he's going to have a lot of sustain, so we can already see he's back up to full, and Obsession already back up to top, back in fitting form for any potential ganks he wants to go on, but nothing really working out in the top lane, it would seem.
He's going to waste a bit of time in the topside jungle there. Has been cleared out already, so some nice exploration coming through here for the blind monk there, but Wizard of Diablo is going to try to get an engaged lance on the minion, not who we wanted to, but here in the mid lane, Miasma is going to come out from Aethys, is going to stop anything. Also missing the skill shot there by Obsession is definitely going to stop anything from any further follow-up at least. And here on the back side of the bot lane, we're going to see a lot of trading coming down. You also Peanut, like, ready to go in, wants to do so. Both of these junglers just, like, biting at the chomp to try and get something going for themselves, but they just can't yet. And a dragon is going to be spawning here pretty soon. It's going to start us off with an Infernal Dragon again for this second game, and we'll have to see. Oh, no. That's a cleanse going to be used. They're going to re-engage, though. It's a lot of damage onto Twink. He's got to be careful, but he is the Varus. That's the flash is coming out. First blood going over to Twink. Now it's going to be Wizard of Diablo coming through. Peanut flashes in for the kill. Could we see another start here for the Graves going to it? No, he's going to give it over. It is the Prophecy Gofrino. 2-0 on the Graves. We have both kills going over to that champion, but it is the bot lane of Sad who is worse for wear.
But keep in mind though, First Blood's still going over to Twink, which is absolutely massive, and only 1 assist went over to Shin Call on this Aphelios. So the difference between Dirk and Cole, not Seagull. But either way, it's going to be a pretty massive difference, especially once Twink hits that money power spike to get the first lethality item. Then he's going to be really able to shut out this Aphelios, because keep in mind, lethality items, they tend to cost a little less compared to the crit counterparts, especially when you also factor in their components use tend to be a lot nicer too to build. Not having to build a BF sword, just a bunch of long swords. It tends to be a little bit easier.
Feels so bad. It's just so early on. Like you see these big abilities from Sed, you're like, that should do so much damage, and then it like hits like a nice little fly landing on your arm or something. Now, I mean, I guess if you get hit by enough flies, maybe it hurts. Because apparently Gato is definitely feeling the pain here. But I think that we're going to continue seeing a priority on this bot lane. I think we're going to continue to see junglers focus down this area, and it's going to come down to either Shen or Twink pulling off some miracles.
And I mean, Shen, definitely a miracle champion, considering his ulti is literally a miracle for your teammates, as there are many fights that are decided on a lot less health than that Stand United gives you. And when you also throw in an extra body to a fight, hey. But, of course, that kind of also brings us to another point about the Shen, where, oh, that's a big hook, actually. Here comes the junglers.
And though, gonna get a nice bit of damage. They're getting collapsed on here. That's going to be one going over. Rose was able to pick that one up. Here comes the snipe. I already knew it was coming as soon as you saw the piercing arrow. The lined up there is going to be Twink picking up another kill for himself. With 2 now on the Varus. We're going to see Aethys get onto Zuko here. That's going to be a lot of damage forward, though, but they aren't going to be able to follow it up. Meanwhile, Dragon is going to go down to Sad, and it is going to be the first one yet again going over. They're going to look to continue their objective domination from game 1, only having given up, I believe it was one Dragon and 1 Rift Herald. So I'll see if they can do better this time.
Although they didn't even know, they got both Rift Heralds last game.
They got both. Yeah, no, there was the fight originally over the one that that Ignitus was going to go for. But yes, I apologize. It's my fault. So they just got the 1 objective. And so far, Sad just going to continue using that priority over those dragons in game number 2.
And of course, getting Infernal on a team with double A carry is pretty darn massive. This is going to be a big trade in the top lane coming out from this set with that face grabber. Oh, Obsession.
Oh no, he didn't get it though. Peanut wasn't able to pull off the red steel there. He's going to get popped down. That's going to be the Stand United coming through. It gets stopped though, and Aethys comes up clutch there. Gato gets stopped by Shinaren there beautifully, no doubtedly by the face breaker. Now Aethys is going to be caught out here. Beautiful package used. The Valkyrie is going to be used to catch up. Aethys is going to get taken down. Zuko able to pull out a kill for himself there as well, and just fighting everywhere, but ends up in Aethys being the one that gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, still though, 1-0-2 on this Corki, that's pretty nice, and like a true firebender, able to use the package to great effect there.
Is that just the theme? We're just gonna keep going with it, why not?
Hey, if there's one thing I know about Avatar, if you're an X-bender, you can use X thing.
Oh my goodness. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got Lore Master from Avatar The Last Airbender here, go for, you know.
I mean, am I wrong?
So, you know you're not wrong, and we're gonna see Gato get under tower. That was a bit questionable by Peanut, not gonna lie. They finally do. Okay, he's on a killing spree. I don't know if you saw that there, Go Frito, but he used the he used the end of the line right into the tower in front of him. Meanwhile, we see the cleanse come down from Shin on the bot lane, but it didn't matter because the Sonic Wave still hit. He's gonna kick Wizard of Diablo straight into the Soul Shackles, and that's gonna be Rose picking up 1. Although it is Twink who gets executed, he'll take that all day long.
Yeah, and that's technically a 2-for-0 on the bot side. Sure, there was an execute, but you're not giving over any gold to the enemy team. Yeah. That's kind of pretty darn good if you're the side of Sad, looking to continue their domination from game number 1. But this time in the bot lane, Rose gonna eat a lot of damage, but I do understand the unquenchable thirst that is wanting those tower plays, because 320 gold? What's 60 gold per plate cast, by the way? It's a hell of a drug, and picking up 160 gold to be splitting, but here comes Peanut. Is he going to be able to find out these 2 members?
He went for the... Goodness! Peanut, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I want this man to be successful, and it just every time he gets so close, Go Frito. So close. And he made the decision to go for the Lee Sin instead of Morgana. Morgana gets out and the Lee Sin just dashes away. And it's like, okay, well, I did all that for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, still though, at least Peanut 3-0-1 on this grave, so he's been successful in a lot of things, even if that was slightly unfortunate. Because Rose was able to complete the recall there, so that was actually 5D chess coming out from Obsession to bait that out and make it look like Rose had already left. Rose gonna swing and miss, but that's not a swing and miss on that hook. Let's see what else comes of this trade. Looks like it is gonna stay towards trade status and not all-in status, however.
Indeed, and we see that Peanut has started up the Rift Herald towards the top side. Is going to be in some vision though, so they know it's going down, which means you can look for Obsession to try and get something in either the mid or the bot side here, and you already see pings coming out as well, transitioning over there.
Big bind.
Get engaged on binding into the Soul Shackle. That's the arrow coming to line you up and take you down, son. As Wizard of Diablo is going to be the next to fall. Those piercing arrows are just raining hell onto the opponents here, and it is just something you cannot deal with. Both Shin and Wizard going down with their ultimates available. Shin even had the flash to his name, but just couldn't find a way to use it, and then they use the Rift Herald top lane, so at least they get something out of it and get a little bit of gold for their side.
At least they do, but I was kind of really confused when you said Shin's still having the flash, and I look up at Gato, it's like, wait, Shin still has flash. A little confusing when there's two people in the same team named Shin, but there's a Shin on the enemy team.
Also,
anyway, though,
triple Shin combo. We're going to see the kick come through. Aethys going to use the Petrifying Gaze to try and get Zuko locked down, but he's not going to be able to. Peanut is going to get chased down here. That rocket misses, though.
Here comes Seth.
Right around the corner. Shinneman with the Stand United coming through for Peanut. He's going to get the showstopper off. That Zuko in the backline able to take down Peanut. Now Shinneman's just going to be dragged to the dirt as well. And I was going to make here they come, the I'm Shinneman joke, but I stopped myself because I realized that that's really old. And that cereal commercial is like my childhood, I guess.
Oh, I thought that was an Avatar reference.
No, I guess I could have just pulled it off there, but I didn't want to go full boomer, so like... You don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Gopher, though? The Apple
I know what cereal is.
No way.
I haven't watched any cereal commercials, though, recently, sadly. But a little bit of a change up in the script. It is going to be the Mountain Soul this game. Another dragon going over in the favor of Sad, so keeping up with that objective lead as well, too. Granted, this time around, even in the turrets, it's just going to be a difference in those dragons. And, of course, the Rift Herald did go over to the side of Ignitus. If I'm not mistaken, it was plopped in that top lane. There's the package, though.
The directed camera, like, to the future, apparently. Yes. The package through from Zuko out of left field. It will pick up the kill down there. We're going to see the Chains of Corruption go down on the Peanut. They're looking at Wizard of Diablo trying to get the stun down, but it's going to be Rose getting dropped. That was a bit of an overzealous collateral damage there. They are going to be able to take down Rose, but here comes the TP. It's going to be a big taunt going across onto Shinneman. Gato is in the back line. You still have Twink firing away, but Aethys has arrived now onto the carry. Petrifying Gaze comes out. That's going to be the shutdown going over, and now Gato is running for his life. You still have everybody on the backside. Misses the Sonic Wave, hits the kick, but it doesn't do anything. And that's going to be everybody getting taken down. Yes, you still are at a gold deficit, but you are showing beautifully why that does not always matter, and they're going to look to continue to push this topside tower.
And the gold lead before this fight was approaching 5-ish thousand, but now we're under 1,000, so this game back to dead even, besides those two dragons between these two teams. But hey, it's anyone's game, and that's a lot better compared to last game, where by this point, things were already definitely in a little bit of pickle. Either way, though, things gonna mellow out a little here as both teams just setting up, waiting for the next big thing to take on the map. It looks like it's gonna be the Rift Herald in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds time.
And we do get to see some counter jungling coming out from the Fire Lord Zuko himself. Able to get the red buff to really increase those fire powers for himself. Make sure you got the fire breathing right. The burns coming out as well. But that does mean that I want to take a look. We have just crossed the 15-minute mark. I do want to take a look and just see where we're at in the game state wise. You do see some CS leads coming out for certain positions, especially I'm looking at Peanut on the Graves, who have been doing pretty well. But then you look at Zuko, the person I was just talking about, 4-0 on the Corki. He does have a decent CS lead as well, and you're just waiting for that Trinity Force to be completed to really hit that power spike.
And it's kind of weird to see that on Zuko, because he was kind of getting his chops a little bit busted in that mid lane early on, but able to pick up some kills for himself, but he might just be the victim here. There's the flash.
Depth charge going to come out as well. It's just way too much to deal with. Valkyrie's not going to save you there, as it is going to be Shinneman being able to pick that kill up. They're looking onto the towers here. I'm so confused in this game, Gofrino, because Obsession has just been like, I feel like kind of AFK farming a little bit. And like earlier the fight in the top lane, he was just kind of sitting in the jungle, like watching until the last second. So the decision making has completely changed, I feel like, from game 1 to 2. And it's very shocking to me, actually.
Obviously, though, when you're playing against the Shen, you do kind of have to play a bit of a split push game, because there's always going to be that Shen in the side lane. He's always going to be waiting to press that Stand United button, so someone's got to do it. Twink, though, going to be here with Obsession. This might be a good bait here against Shinneman and Peanut. I don't think we're going to see too much come of it. Very near hit on that bind. Very near hit on that resonating strike, but Peanut with the fast feet, a little too fancy with these moves.
Yeah, and it's dang, that's a lot of damage from Cassiopeia already. I mean, having not even finished 2 items yet, just feeling really strong in that moment. And do have some completions coming across the board here. You do have Varus having finished that 2nd item as well. Going to be looking for the 3rd lethality item here. And we are in just a bit of a farm state right now, and it's been because SAD have just been really looking for the pickouts. They haven't been looking for the big fights all necessarily, and it's a lot of jungle play, a lot of bush play, and now we are getting to see the 2nd Rip Herald be started up here by Obsession. Going to see if he's going to be able to lock that one down, but Peanut, Wizard of Diablo are heading that way.
They are going to get a little poked out by this Varus. Let's see if Obsession is able to get it. It might just be a smite fight here. Twink over the wall.
They are able to pick it up, though, at least. As that's going to be a big steal away, especially Wizard of Diablo is going to go down to Zuko's engagements. Now you have Twink coming in, but it's Aethys putting down some damage as well. That's going to be Soul Shackle coming through, and a huge showstopper brings him to the back line. But now you have Aethys spouting this poison. He's got the speed. Gato's going to go down. That's a double kill. And Zuko, Twink, the only ones left here. Zuko's going to go forward. He can't hit the rocket. He goes down. He's able to take a kill with him, though. But Aethys just strong and steady throughout all of these fights.
It was 11-4 in kills earlier, too. Keep that in mind, Lemons, because now it's 15-3. This 3rd dragon gonna be picked up by the side of Ignitus, and that's gonna be pretty darn huge. It is gonna deny the soul point, of course, help yourselves get rolling, and of course, getting those extra resistances, always helpful to have.
Extra resistances are always nice, and especially in a fight like this where it's just so volatile, so back and forth. I mean, the gold lead has completely dried up here for SAD. They are right neck and neck with Ignitus, and it's going to be about these big fights. And so far, it's just been the team fight potential coming through from Ignitus. They have so many strengths, so many just zoning abilities, as well as the damage layered down on top of it. And I'm looking at the Cassiopeia, I'm looking at the Aphelios, and we all know how strong these two can be in these team fights. So then the question is, SAD need to approach these fights in a different way. So far, it's been a bit all over the place. We've had some really good engagements from them. We've also had some really bad engagements from them. And so it's just right on a knife's edge, and it's so stressful for these teams to be in this position.
Especially when you consider that Shinko and the Cassiopeia are going to outscale their counterparts. Yeah. Sure, the Bears, if he did go for an on-hit or a crit build, would have been able to keep up, but I'll hold that thought. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a fight here. Gunplay going to be popped.
Soul Shackle is going to land, though. That's going to be a big stun up. Obsession able to take that one. Now here comes Shinneman. as Zuko's going to be able to use the Valkyrie to get away from that one. Baron has spawned here across the map. TPs is not available for Zuko, as that's the power of a set. He does use the shield there. Stand United not going to come in. You cannot send your mid laner against a split pushing set. That is just not the call. They are going to make the call to take the mid outside tower, so they get a little bit of gold for themselves at least.
And I'm gonna be honest, Zuko, what the hell were you thinking there? Like, your Valkyrie was down, your Flash was down. If you walk into that face smasher range, you're just gonna instantly get hit, and this set 9 times out of 10 is gonna easily smash you in that 1 versus 1. We'll see if Obsession is able to do anything differently here, but I don't really favor him in this matchup. Let's see, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Obsession is going to get hit by this Haymaker, though. Does not land the kick with the Resonating Strike combo, though. And, man, that's just... It's not what you like to see. And now that Obsession has shown himself all the way on the bot side, the normalized call here is to start the Baron up.
And start the Baron, there is going to be a little bit of arrow poke coming out from Sad Twink. There is the Chains of Corruption, but this Baron is already dead.
That's a big TP coming in, though, as Zuko's going to look to follow this through here. Shinneman is running around like a madman. Gato is going to get engaged on, but that is going to be Wizard of Diablo going down. Now Zuko's looking to redeem himself against Shinneman. That's going to be a flash forward. He's going to look to go back onto Zuko. He knows he's in some trouble. Showstopper comes out. Haymaker going to follow it up. He's not able to pick up the kill. Twink is on a killing spree here. 7-3 on the Varus, and still able to provide so much strength. That's just... It's nuts to me that the story, like the hidden storylines in these games so far, and the fact that it's such a different tale of the take in this game. We have an 0-5 Aphelios, and the Varus is still so strong, but yet it is the team play that's showing through from Ignitus so far.
And just the calls coming out from Ignitus this game, it's kind of night and day difference, because one of the things we kind of criticized them for last game, Lemons, was of course the shock calling, the macro play around the map, but it seems like this time around they're the ones with the extra step up in terms of map tempo, in terms of map rotations, and it does seem to be working out. Thankfully though, for Sat, even though they do lose the Baron, they do knock off 2 of those buffs. That is going to delay the inevitable Baron push coming out, but also taking away Shinneman's Baron buff is one of the most important Baron buffs to take away, since Shinneman, the most likely one to be split pushing if they do go for a 1-4-0, and even if it's a 1-3-1, he won't have teleport to help out his team. He won't have the Baron buff to really help him hammer in towards that Shen. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing any pushing for a bit, though, as this is going to be another dragon spawning up in about half a minute here. Both these times, team's going to be eyeing it up. It will help even out the dragon score if you're Ignitus, and it will put you on soul point if you are Sad.
So the thing I want to point out here, and yes, Aethys was able to get it back in, but Aethys was all the way on top side. Now Dragon is spawning about 15 seconds. Aethys is going to make it. We have Stands United available for Gato. Can he pull off the miracle play that we were highlighting earlier? It's going to be Zuko going forward. He's getting engaged on, though, and he's in the miasma. Gets out just in time. Plus the collateral damage coming through from Peanut, the snipe from the grave. That's going to be a big Chains of Corruption landing. Shinneman is on the backside here by Obsession. Gato is now left all by himself, and they cannot contest this so far. They just haven't found the end yet, but it's going to connect. Resonating Strike. That's big one. Shin going down. Obsession able to take him out. Here comes the Soul Shackles. He's going to go golden. Going to land the stun. Not going to go through. Twink's going to get caught. He flashes forward. That's going to be a big arrow, but it's not enough, and now the split fight coming through. Shinneman gonna take a 2v1 while everybody else is getting chased down. He's buying so much time. The flash forward, the miasma. That's gonna be a shutdown going over. Aethys able to pick up that one. Now it is 4 members left to 2 on the side of Sad, and nobody gets the dragon just yet, but the fighting is going to continue here.
Here comes Corky.
He TP'd in. Corky's gonna get stunned up. He's looking to go in and get all the damage down. Miasma is there to stop the Shin from doing anything. And they start up the dragon here a bit contested. I don't know if you want to start that all the way up, but Aethys is confident. He's going in for the damage there. Zuko trying to stop anything from happening here. You do have Lee Sin on the backside. He's going to connect the Resonating Strikes onto Peanut. He goes in. He steals the dragon. Is able to take the mountain dragon from them. He's in the middle of the fight, but they're going to get chased down and taken down as that's 2 more kills going over. Aethys is godlike.
Yeah, and sure, you steal the dragon if you're sad, but you give up 6 kills just to get yourself on soul point. Is that worth it? Hell no. They're gonna lose so much on the map for this. Thank God that fight went on so long. Baron buff actually expired here for the side of Ignitus, so they aren't gonna be able to super push in, but still, this gold lead now in the favor of Ignitus, and they're the ones with the better scaling composition, and sad. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like they just kind of threw this game.
Yeah, a little bit. Maybe it just pulls all the way back to the one and go to game 3. I don't know. I definitely have seen some very questionable decisions here from them in this game that I didn't see in game 1. So maybe it's a little bit of excitement, a little bit of just over-eagerness coming out here, but it is Ignitus who are taking full advantage of it.
And I mean, I think sad they just have to start looking to game number 3 here. Sure, they aren't out in terms of gold lead, but with how hard they're getting outscaled, they're going to be having to rely on a potential soul pickup here, but even if they do have this mountain soul, I don't know if that's really going to save them in this game. So we'll have to see. I mean, miracles have happened on much more desperate gold leads.
I think it does give them definitely a higher chance here. Peanut's going to catch Obsession out. He does steal the red buff and just walks away. Zuko is going to get caught out here, and that's just not what you're looking for in this game. And honestly, at this point, if you're going to see this kill go down and the way that they've been playing, yeah, I'd say just GG go next. For Sad, now we're going to see the chakrams laying down the damage there. Obsession's going to continue. Collateral damage came in for a last-second shot. Is it going to be the outplay? Obsession is held by the Stand United. Gato's going to be able to pick up the kill. This could just be the fight that they were looking for. Change of corruption go down on the Peanut. He is going to be taken out by Twink, who picks up a kill. And the second we start putting them in the barrel, saying we need to package them up, they're done. They come back with a vengeance there.
And what a time to come back with vengeance, because that is right as the Baron is spawning here. Peanut still down for another 30 seconds. Keep that in mind. Shin Kal also down for another 15 seconds. They won't be able to contest this. Sure, you have Aethys, very strong now. Sure, you have Shinman, who's also very strong, but will that be able to stand up to a full might of 5 people here from the side of Sad? We'll have to see as the Baron has been started up. It is being snuffed out. Let's see.
He's on to play with the package, so he does have that extra engagement there as well. Saw him step off to take it. The Baron's about halfway down. Shinman could go. I think Zuko learned his lesson last time. He's not going to let that engagement come through. And Baron's just going to be uncontested. They realize they can't fight it without giving over too much, and they just give it over. So good play by Sad. And I honestly like the call coming out from Ignitus. I think that, yes, it was you could have forced your way into there, and it would have been a bloody bath of just craziness, but I like the fact that you are confident in your defensive capabilities and you're able to play against the siege.
Plus, also keep in mind if they do go in, it is a oh my god, I thought that landed there. If they do go in though, here comes the package to scratch.
He's all the way in the back line though. Collateral damage comes out yet again. He's just free firing that ability now. As Peanut doesn't really care about the cooldown. That's a big one. That's a huge kick into the back line. But they're going to be able to continue to fight on Twink. He's running for his life. He's going to wind up an arrow. But that's the carries being taken out. Obsession is trying like a madman to pull something off, but he just can't. Moonlight Vigil's going to miss. Huge double knockup. Flash over the wall. Gentlemen able to pull out a bonkers play here. And that's going to be Gato looking onto Shendeman. The showstopper comes out. The damage has arrived. And Gato goes down. Twink and Rose are able to make it out, but everybody else falls. Meanwhile, it was a 3-for-1. The only member going down for the side of Ignitus was Wizard of Diablo.
And keep in mind, Sad started off that fight. I like the idea behind it. You did have that amazing flash insect, or not flash insect kick, but just an insect kick onto Aethys, which is absolutely massive, but you didn't have to there. Like, you could have just let the minions do the work for you. Let them continuously shove in. You have a Varus here. You have a Corki. You can just slowly whittle down the enemy team. Instead, they don't do that. Yeah, this could actually be very scary. Sad Rose seems to have a fifth sense here, not stepping into that bush. Beautiful route onto Peanut. Let's see what happens. The hook goes wide. I don't think they know that these three members are over here, though. Obsession will be the first one to find him. That's nearly a dead Nautilus before this fight begins. Flash in.
Flash in. Aethys is going to be in the back line. He gets taken down. That's one of the big carries. Now we're going to see everybody looking down onto Peanut, onto the rest of the team. Shitterman is in some trouble. Huge showstopper, though. Unable to get the kill there. Peanut's going to get engaged on by Obsession. My goodness, this is Obsession's playtime here on this Lee Sin. He's able to just go left, right, up, down, center. He's going to land another resonating strike. He goes in for the kill. He's able to just continue pressing up. They're going to take this tower. That's going to be Shin getting taken down by Zuko. They're just going to take the momentum here, GoForino. They don't care about your gold lead. They don't care about how the game has gone. They're looking to end it.
And just when we were saying Lemon's like, oh yeah, they've fallen behind, they're getting outscaled here, they're able to find some key picks, able to get the Baron, able to pad their KDA off the back of that Nautilus, then even after they had that absolute fail of engagement in the mid lane, they're thankfully able to bring it back with another beautiful pick onto Aethys. He is the star, 10-3-6 on this Cassiopeia, but if he gets kicked in and killed every fight, what's he gonna do? Squat. That's what. That is now a 2-0 for Sad. Sure, the second game a little bit harder one than the first one, but hey, a 2-0 is a 2-0.
Dude, somebody go buy this man Obsession a Ferrari or something. Congratulations to this dude. I mean, like, it wasn't the most spectacular performance, but those fights at the end, those were all Obsession. I mean, he was causing so much chaos and just, like I said, dodging. He must have been on the crew for Dodgeball the movie because he was diving, dodging, ducking, everything. So I just think it was such a good, clean call from Sad at the end. That's what we were looking for this entire time, where they weren't making these decisive decisions. They do at the last second. They pick out a member, and they're able to just take the game off of that. And they stay undefeated here in the UML, GoForino. And unfortunately, that is going to be Ignitus dropping their first series here, and just a great one in general from Sad.
Sadly, but still 4-1. Not exactly the worst if you're Ignitus. Like, it's still pretty damn good, in fact. By all means. Yeah, but still, though, with the series coming to a close, I think it's time. Like, who is your MVP for the series, Lemons?
Man, oh, it's such a hard decision. I was going to say I thought Twink was insane. I thought he was just a monster. But these last plays to pull this game from we literally like 5 minutes before that, we're like, all right, this is it. GG, go next. It's gonna go to game 3. The fact that Obsession literally like picked up his team, put them on his back, and just engaged over and over. I have to give it to him. Even though the first game wasn't insanely spectacular, the beginnings of game 2 wasn't. It was those clutch decisions that just won them this series. So I have to give it to Obsession on my side.
Yeah, Obsession definitely key in both their victories in both games. Sure, game number 1, I would throw it over Zuko for that amazing echo play, but
True.
series wide, I do have to give it to Obsession because Zuko definitely had a bit of a rough patch this second game with the over adventurous engages, much like the real Zuko, trying a little too hard to hunt the man he wanted.
He really liked the dredge lines. He liked the feel of it and like the engagement. He just wanted it.
True. Either way, though, I think that's going to wrap up this cast. So, any final words you got for our beautiful viewers, Lemons?
Well, I just want to say thank you all so much for tuning in for these games. It definitely was a couple crazy ones for sure. Some chaos thrown in there as well. But as well as I want to say thank you to Reed HD for producing today for us. It has been an absolute pleasure working for you and casting here at Upsurge with my constant co-host, GoForino here. So thank you all again. That is it here from us at Upsurge for the night. Make sure you check the socials. Make sure you check everything related to Upsurge to know when we will be live next. And we'll see you next time on Summoner's Rift.